It's your time to shine. Literally.
The budget Captain Marvel.
I share the same name as Carol freaking Danvers.
And where does it start? Here.
So we meet this girl, Kamala Khan, who wants to go to this event called AvengerCon. They're holding a cosplay contest for her favorite superhero, Captain Marvel, probably to make sure that at least a few girls show up.
She doesn't even like the Avengers.
And she's really excited about entering, but her parents are really strict and tell her no. But the next day, they say yes, but only if she goes with her dad, and they both have to dress up like the Hulk.
Bada Hulk or Choti Hulk?
Why the Hulk?
See, that's the last one I'd pick if I was her mom. She doesn't want her wearing anything too tight or revealing, so why give her an opportunity to go topless?
Can a woman just live?
But her mom made her and her husband matching green shalwar kameez.
It suits you.
Another issue that she's having is that she just learned how to sew and might not finish her costume in time.
Don't worry, it'll be finished by then.
Plus, it's supposed to have some sort of personal flair, so if she would have just asked her mom for help making the costume, it would have been something that her mom felt more comfortable with her going in, and she wouldn't have to tell her dad that being seen with him would be humiliating.
And I think I made my dad cry.
Teenagers are stupid.
Yes, they are. Hell, it didn't even occur to her to just show her mom her costume when she was wearing it. But like I said, her costume needs flair, so her best friend Bruno, who definitely doesn't have a crush on her,
No, Bruno.
suggests that she add a Pakistani spin to it. And wouldn't you know it, her mom got a box of jewelry just the other day from her grandma.
Everything sucks.
And the box was this bangle that she thought was pretty cool, so she nabs that. The new plan is that she's going to sneak out of the house, and her and Bruno are going to take the bus since she failed a driver's test.
I'd sneak out of the house too if it meant I could meet the Avengers.
Oh, none of them are going to be there. This is really just a place for people to sell merch.
That is America's ass.
It's also at Camp Lehigh that was destroyed in Winter Soldier, so I guess they rebuilt it?
I almost forgot about that.
But the contest rolls around, and Kamala sees that a girl she goes to school with is there, and she's intimidated by Zoe because she has a bunch of followers on social media, and Kamala only has 2.
Oh, it would suck to have people watch your videos and not like and subscribe.
I know! I mean, how hard is it to hit a button or two?
In concept, it is pretty easy, but it's going to take a lot of finesse and subtlety on your part.
Anyway, she gets ready for the contest, but when she puts on the bangle, she glows blue.
You know you're glowing, right?
But then, without anyone noticing, she's transported to a whole other dimension, but only for like a second.
Temporal manipulations can create branches in time. Unstable dimensional openings. Spatial paradoxes. Time loops. You want to get stuck reliving the same moment over and over forever or never having existed at all?
That can be harmful.
But before she has a chance to figure out what happened, she gets called up on stage, where she starts creating these plasma rock candy looking things.
Let's call it hard light.
One of them hits the head of a giant Ant-Man statue, and it rolls across the building. Luckily, there aren't that many people there, so everyone's able to get out of the way. But it bumps into some truss holding up a giant Mjolnir, and that breaks free, and it just smacks into Zoe at top speed.
What's wrong, Squishy?
Meow.
Now this thing is breaking all sorts of displays, but it didn't harm the tiny high school girl.
She's stronger than you think.
And Kamala reaches out from across the building to try to catch her, and a light hand comes out of her and catches Zoe.
I saved you.
Only because you almost killed me first.
Bruno finds her and rushes her out of there, but when he sneaks her back into her room, her mom's there waiting for her.
We are in serious trouble.
But she's not the only one that wants to talk to her. The Department of Damage Control got a video from AvengerCon, and she's on their radar now.
We are in very serious trouble.
At school on Monday, she has this new confidence that lasts until she finds out that Zoe's livestream shot her subscriber count sky high.
I heard Zoe's follower count like quadrupled this weekend.
And Kamala thinks maybe she should tell people that she's the one who saved her to make her channel take off. But Bruno talks her out of it, and they talk about how lame Zoe is for milking what could have been a tragedy for social gain.
Who would do something like that?
And because she could have died, she's gonna throw a party, and Kamala wants to go because this new kid Kamaron's gonna be there. And Bruno's like, what the fuck? Welcome to the friend zone, Bruno. We've all been there.
Yeah, well, he's no Brad Pitt, sir.
Poor Bruno, right?
But he does help her develop her powers, and he also figures out that the bangle isn't what makes the power. It just awoken the powers inside her.
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Something inside me has always been there, but now it's awake, and I'm afraid.
And after a few days, she seems to have a pretty good handle on him.
She's a freaking action superhero. Mad skills.
But now it's the night of the party, and since she's only going to see that Kamaron dude, she makes sure to dress to impress.
And you know what? She looked
good doing it.
And they all call this dude a jackass for wanting to jump off the roof into the pool. Kamala even wonders if she should save him, but he jumps, and the girls see that it's that Kamaron dude.
Come on.
And now all of a sudden, what he did was awesome. And then the cops show up, and he offers them a ride. So it turns out that Kamaron and Kamala have a lot in common, and Bruno is not having it. And when he can't cockblock Kamaron, he tries to beaver dam Kamala. But that doesn't work either, and she gets the digits.
Are you okay? No, I'm not.
At school on Monday, her powers misfire, and she turns into Rudolph for a bit. She runs to the bathroom, and we see that it's not just men who assume a woman is having her period when she's acting weird.
Mala, please don't be weird.
But she doesn't take this opportunity to tell Nakia that she has powers. Just like Bruno doesn't use his newfound knowledge that he's not going to date Kamala and accept early admission to Caltech.
You're an idiot.
I'm not an idiot, I'm actually a genius.
And then he doesn't turn right back around and accept when he sees that Kamala has a date with Kamaron, which actually seems to be going well until her brother Amir catches them holding hands about to kiss, and then she tells him that Kamaron is their cousin.
Our cousin? That was gross.
But Amir doesn't mention anything at dinner that night. Instead, their dad tells a story about their grandma during the partition of India. As a toddler, she got separated from her parents while boarding the last train leaving that night, but somehow managed to get on the train, supposedly by following a trail of stars. And then all of a sudden the bangle starts glowing, and she sees some broad in her living room, and passes out. But this makes her want to call her grandma about the bangle, and she's like, look, just because I mailed it to you, doesn't mean I'm going to tell you about it.
No, I'm not going to talk about this at all.
And she hangs up, only after saying that it belonged to her great-grandma, who disappeared the night of the partition. And when she asks her mom about her great-grandma, she gets all weird about it and tells her never to bring it up again.
This is my secret.
Across town, Zoe's been picked up by the Department of Damage Control, and they pretend to be a fan of hers to get her to talk about AvengerCon.
But the video that they got was shot while she was on stage.
Well, she made a video of her own telling about Kamala saving her, and because enough people hit the like button, the algorithm shared it with more people, and she went viral.
I could be subtle.
But Agent Cleary says that Kamala was trying to kill her, and when she denies that, he says that she staged the event. Then Agent Deaver comes in and questions Zoe by assuming an American teenager knows geography.
Middle Eastern? South Asian?
What's the difference?
Americans.
And it's lucky for Deaver that they were studying that area of the world in history class just that week.
History, written by the oppressors, that's all I'm gonna say.
So now, every religious center in the tri-state area is going to be under surveillance. But they won't have to look far, because some moron is hanging out of a window at the mosque. Bruno sees Kamala run to save him, but Nakia wants to know where she is, while this kid might fall to his death.
Hey, where's Kamala?
This is an important conversation right now.
Now I get that Kamala might have been wearing her suit under her clothes, but I have no idea where she was hiding the helmet.
I know how weird your mom can get about tampons.
So she goes out to save the kid, but celebrates a little too early, because before she can get him back on the building, that one broad shows up, and she loses concentration, and he falls. She tries that long arm thing, but that doesn't work, so she just slows down his fall by making him bounce off some light platforms until he lands on a car.
I see this as an absolute win.
So is he hurt bad?
She dropped me and broke my leg.
The kid puts ice cream on his pizza. I really don't give a shit.
Did someone say ice cream pizza?
But everyone watching was also taking pictures and video, so now the DODC has a pretty good idea on where they need to look.
Yeah, I think she went that way.
She also stupidly ran away from the festival, and Damage Control finds her immediately. She takes out their drones and jumps over them, but only gets away because Kamaron drives past and picks her up. He's also the chauffeur for that broad that's been popping up at inopportune times.
Did I not say there was something weird about that kid?
Kinda weird that he just drives his mom around like that, but it turns out she's from another dimension, and maybe that's how they do things there.
You're clearly not British.
They take her to their house, where some other people tell her that they knew her great-grandma, and they were actually looking for 2 bangles that could get them back to their world. They found one, and didn't blink when it was on the severed wrist of a blue person.
We'll be back for the weapon.
But the British army were trying to set the cave on fire, so Najma and Kamala's great-grandma Aisha split up, and they never saw her again. But when Kamala used the bangle, they figured out where she was, and sent Kamaron to make friends with her.
I'm Kamaron.
Kamala.
I'm Kamala.
Try again, this time like you have a social life.
I'm Kamala.
No, that's not it.
Oh, this is going to be easy.
So they saw the video and recognized her powers?
No, they never actually saw what the bangle did, but they knew it unlocked the power of the newer.
That means light, right?
And she was shooting glowy rocks, so they guessed she might have it. Anyway, this all took place in 1942, and none of them have aged a day.
You look great!
So Kamala's dating a 100-year-old man like Bella?
I'm 109.
Well, maybe I shouldn't be dating such an old man. It's gross.
No. I guess after a while, Najma figured why not, and had a baby when she was like 110 or so. So he's an actual legit 17. And you'd think after pooping out a kid and hanging out for 80 years that Najma would just want to stay. But no. She wants to go back to the newer world as soon as she can.
We don't have more time.
And she says that Kamala needs to help them because they can't access their powers in this dimension. So the next day, she goes to Bruno to ask him for help with interdimensional travel because he's good at math.
You're good at math. Do you know anything about interdimensional travel off the top of your head?
And it just so happens that this junior in high school has studied Dr. Selvig's theory of interdimensional travel.
Only to make conversation.
Was that so difficult to figure out? I mean, you're my science guy, right?
He says that the police were at the mosque all night, but apparently no one gave a shit where she was. And the next day, her house is full with people in town for her brother's wedding. Now Bruno knows this and stupidly left a new mask for her out in the open for anyone to find.
And you leave it lying around?
I was gonna put it in a box.
And that night, her dad goes to see Bruno at work and just happens to translate a story about the clandestines being evil for him. So he tells Kamala that because of that, and the math he did, that her helping them could be dangerous without more information.
Some things might go boom.
So she tells Kamaron that she needs more time and goes to her brother's wedding. But his mom's going through his phone like an asshole and finds out that Kamala needs more time. Even though she's waited 80 years, she can't wait anymore. So Kamaron goes to warn her. Unfortunately for Bruno, it's right after Kamala asked him to dance. And when they leave, Bruno's like, dude, I learned a choreographed dance for this wedding. You cock-blocking bastard. But the clandestines come in ready to kill everyone because they're impatient assholes. And couldn't wait until tomorrow where they could just say, hey, we've traveled through dimensions before and we know how to do it safely. And especially if this could kill her, why not let her spend one more night with her family?
What's the rush?
So Kamala pulls the fire alarm to get her family to leave. She leads them to the back of the house where these guys beat the shit out of the catering staff to show they mean business. And when Kamala tries to talk to them, they all start kung fu fighting the 16-year-old girl they need to get back home.
No, I mean, they're really nice.
When she gets away, Najma turns off the lights in case she wasn't scared of them enough, but it's really so she uses her light powers, they can tell where she is.
Oh man, that was good. You got me.
So this is where you've been hiding.
And then, this group that are strong enough to punch through concrete grab weapons to attack the girl they need alive. They're not holding back until Bruno throws a present at one of them. And this dude gives up on catching Kamala that is 5 feet from him to kill the gift-tossing high schooler.
You're focusing on the wrong things.
But Kamala light punches him, and Kamaron comes in and fights him with his necklace. She then super bitch slaps the rest of them and goes to check on Bruno. He's hurt, so she needs to get him out of there, but the rest of the clandestines corner him in the lobby.
I don't know how much more trouble I can get into after all this.
But when Najma touches the bangle, they see a train in the sky, which distracts him long enough for damage control to come in and arrest him. But Kamala and Bruno sneak out the back, where Nakia sees her using her powers when she was trying to go back inside to return her scarf.
That's hardly important right now.
And she is not happy that she didn't tell her. And when Kamala gets home, her parents are upset, but don't press the issue of her being seen pulling the fire alarm and talking to the people who were just arrested. And they just let her go to bed.
I don't see what the whole fuss is about.
You ruined your brother's wedding.
But then her grandma calls and tells her that she needs to go to Pakistan because she saw the train too. And her mom is like, okay, but since she ruined her brother's wedding, she makes some poor guy sit between them for the 18-hour flight. And for a woman who keeps telling Kamala that she left Pakistan to give her kids a better life, she forgot to mention that she grew up in a mansion.
Oh, that poor thing.
But Grandma tells Kamala that the train they saw was from the night of the partition when she got separated from her family. And she thinks that the train is trying to tell her something.
Is it a talking train like Thomas?
No, don't be stupid. It's her Jinn powers guiding her someplace.
Obviously. I'm sorry, did you just say gin?
And tonic?
Well, the next day, her cousins take her sightseeing, and she's explicitly told to stay with them, but when she wants to see the train station, they say that's boring and fuck off. So when she gets there, she notices that it's being renovated and that there are active security cameras in the area. So she goes in and then puts on her mask.
So, doesn't super work.
And then she immediately has a knife thrown at her by some dude wearing a red scarf.
That's some good security.
No, it's just some kid that's trying to kill her because he senses her newer powers that the clandestines can't use in this dimension. But he still thinks she is one anyway, until she says she's not, and he's like, okay.
Are you serious?
The red scarf kid takes her to his hideout that's in the back of the shitty restaurant, and this dude tells her that if the clandestines open the veil between our worlds, that the newer world will take over ours, and we'll all die and stuff.
You think about that.
And speaking of those guys, they got taken to a damage control supermax prison and get away because there was only one guard escorting 5 enhanced people. And another guard around the corner also happened to have their weapons instead of them being in property lockup.
Listen to me, you big blue bastard. That's mine. Those belong in impound.
But Kamaron was hurt during the escape, and they just want to leave him behind because he wanted Kamala to enjoy her brother's wedding.
I feel like I'm being crushed from the inside out.
The next day, they bust into the shitty restaurant hideout because they stupidly installed a skylight in their secret lair. So the dude tells the kid to get her out of there, and he fights off 3 of the clandestines while the 4th tries to beat down a glass door that the kid and Kamala just wait around and watch him hit.
We should do something.
Looking strong, John.
But the dude beats him up too, and they fuck off.
Why are you still here?
They steal some sort of moped golf cart hybrid and have a chase through town. But 2 of the other clandestines get a dump truck and join in. They catch up really fast because the taxi thingy only has a top speed of like 2.2 miles an hour. And they're about to crash into some dipshits who thought it was a good idea to take a baby on a motorcycle.
Trust me, if it was legal, I would do it.
But Kamala creates a ramp over the dipshits, and this is strong enough to flip a dump truck, even though the kid's knives easily broke her into her earlier. But they get away from him until Najma finally catches up in her turtle speed taxi. And the dude tells the kid to get her out of there again, and they just stand around looking at him because teenagers are stupid. So they split up to lose the belt guy, and Kamala ends up stealing a truck and hitting him with it when the kid gets cornered. So they ditch the truck and run away even though the clandestines are right there. Somehow they turn down the same alley the dude and Najma end up in.
Right where I didn't want you to be.
And the dude opts to save the kids from the belt guy instead of himself, and he gets stabbed in the back, thrown off a building, and he dies.
It's your fault. It's everyone's fault. Who cares?
But they run into a dead end and have to fight the clandestines anyway. So of course, Kamala takes off her mask before using her powers in front of people.
I feel like secret identities are secret for a reason.
They manage to kill the guy with a giant baby rattle after they hide in some clothes. But since the kid killed him, Najma gets pissed off and tries to stab Kamala. You know, the only person she knows that can use the newer powers in this dimension.
Are you crazy?
But she stabs the bangle, and Kamala gets sent back in time to the night of the partition.
Time travel.
But before I can tell you about that crap, I need to tell you some crap about Aisha. See, after getting the bangle, she was sleeping under this tree one day, and this dude is like, I have a bed if you want it. So after thinking about it for several hours, she goes inside, where he feeds her and reads her poetry, so naturally, they bang.
Obviously.
And she gets knocked up and shits out a baby.
So romantic.
Then years later, Najma finds her and says that she has until tomorrow to meet with her with a bangle, and they'll go home. But now that Aisha has a family, she doesn't want to go. But it's also the night of the partition, where a crap ton of Muslims were fleeing India because the British pitted their religions against each other.
An oversimplification, but yes.
So she convinces her husband to uproot his family and go. But Aisha gives baby grandma the bangle, and they head to the train station. And even though this is the last train leaving, her husband is like, I know we're not running from the religious persecution in the country, even though we should be. I know that it has something to do with that chick that was just standing in our field in the middle of the night, and I'm not moving until you tell me what's up. So she shows him the bangle light up, and he's like, okay.
But what did that prove?
Hell if I know, but it is good enough to get them moving again. Now Aisha knows that Najma is there, and she separates from her family. But she pretty much immediately bumps into Najma in this crazy crowd, and Najma stabs her for betraying her. But baby grandma dropped her scarf and went back for it, so she's just standing by herself, crying on this train platform, and no one gives a shit.
Because I didn't care.
Aisha uses the Noor and summons Kamala, who immediately finds the stabbed woman that no one also gives a shit about. And Aisha gives her a photo, but Kamala's like, but if you're stabbed, how are you gonna save baby grandma? And Aisha's like, why don't you do it? I'm kinda stabbed here, and she dies.
Oof, the trouble this girl's causing, her mother should be ashamed of herself.
So Kamala finds baby grandma and tries to get her to jump on some light platforms, but that doesn't go so well when one breaks. But baby grandma magically plays with the shrapnel, and her dad sees the light and finds her. So Kamala is amazed that the story is true, the dad is amazed that the baby is magic, but no one else gives a shit, or even notices other than about 3 people who react like they saw an odd-shaped potato chip.
Would you look at that?
What?
Fruit!
And then the bangle glows and drops her right back to where the people were trying to kill her. But this actually opened the veil, and the clandestines are like, fuck yeah, we can go home.
What will this do?
So the chick with the spear touches the light and turns into a skeleton, and she dies.
So that's what it does.
Well, Kamala knows that it's going to destroy everything, so she wants Najma to help her close it, but she wants to go home like real bad. But Najma's pretty sure she'll be fine, so she goes into the light and she dies. But she said Kamaron's name before she died, and somehow he gets her powers.
Because I really do think if you try hard enough, you can get to my level.
So that closes the veil, and they turn around to see Mom and Grandma standing there like, "Aw, did you just save the world? Good job. It's a good thing we tracked your phone, otherwise we would have missed it."
How is her mom not freaking out right now?
She's surprisingly chill with her daughter being a superhero. Mostly because Grandma's like, "I told you our family was magic."
Why have I never heard of this?
Well, because you have never asked.
Then she says goodbye to that kid, who gives her a scarf because apparently they didn't have COVID in the MCU. But they did in Jaws. Back in Jersey City, Kamaron goes to see Bruno because he wants to be somewhere where his mom could find him. But instead, a damage control drone finds him and blows up the building when Kamaron shoots it down.
You had access to killer drones?
Yeah, I didn't really want him, especially after I almost killed Brad.
Bruno.
And in the morning, damage control finds him on a train, but Kamaron can't control his powers yet and makes it really hard for them to hide. And while this is going on, Kamala gets back, and after she tells the rest of her family about her powers, Nakia calls to tell her that Bruno's building blew up. But her mom won't let her go until she gives her a new suit.
Wait. You need a disguise.
And it's all baggy like the Hulk suit?
No, it's really skin tight. You know, like her mom was against earlier.
You're not going to dress up like all those other girls in skimpy outfits.
But I guess now that she knows that she can defend herself, she's allowed to show it off.
You always cover her ass.
So Kamaron apparently derailed the train, so Bruno thought to bring the wanted fugitive that probably is seen as a terrorist now to the mosque to hide. Nakia is like, "Dude, are you stupid? Do you not realize that we're under surveillance right now? I mean, you can hide here for a minute, but you gotta go as soon as damage control leaves."
Not very well thought out, but I respect you for trying.
So they hide him in a room where they covered the door with a bookcase that wasn't tall enough, and after the search, they take off for the high school. Kamala finds him in an alley, but Kamaron can't control his powers and alerts the patrols.
It's game over.
They manage to make it to the school where they meet up with Nakia, but then damage control shows up, and then Zoe was apparently filming a TikTok in the school and wants to help.
She always was a bit of a rebel.
And while they're making a plan, Amir sneaks in too, and at this point, no one is like, "Hey, clearly they don't have the building surrounded. We should all just sneak out the window you just came in."
Isn't that too easy?
Kamala draws out a detailed plan that would require a lot of prep time, knowing that they need to get Kamaron to the docks by midnight so the Red Daggers can get him to safety. But in stories like this, you always have more than enough time to do this kind of crap. I mean, you don't even need to hurry in some cases.
Patience is a virtue.
Not right now, it isn't.
Well, somehow, Agent Deaver knows that Kamala's in there with Kamaron and really wants to arrest them both. But Agent Cleary warns Deaver that going after two underage children of color in a high school is a bad idea and not the kind of press they want. But Deaver's like, "I'm sure there's some kind of department that controls that kind of damage. It'll be fine." And then she goes against orders and sends in extra teams.
Call in all additional units.
But the kids have rigged booby traps for him because assaulting armed officers is always a good plan.
No, son.
I agree. Bad idea.
But the real plan is Zoe going live and telling everyone what's happening and to come be witnesses so nothing bad happens. Which, thank God, people hit the subscribe button for her, otherwise nobody would have seen this.
They probably hit the bell icon.
Probably. I mean, that's how they got alerted the second she posted. So all of these people beeline to the school so damage control can be held accountable.
They are doing their job, then we can do ours.
They breach the building, and all the non-powered people hold the agents back with fire extinguishers, softballs, and science.
This is magic. It's absolute magic.
But they eventually all get caught.
If we're being honest here, they were losing badly.
And while this is happening, Kamala and Kamaron try to sneak out the bathroom window that they could have done without their friends getting arrested 2 hours ago.
Then why am I only just hearing about this?
But now, there's an agent there, and Kamaron tries to kill him, but Kamala stops him. And instead of just going out the now open window, that only had one guy guarding it that he just took out, Kamaron fights all the guards in the hallway and goes out the front door.
No, he did.
Yes, he did.
When he doesn't comply with Devers, she orders the agents to open fire on the child with live rounds in front of a crowd of people who are all recording and live streaming the event.
Is Bruno recording this for internet?
Kamala jumps in and shields him, and that's when Devers like, "Oh yeah, we have a sonic cannon," and blasts him with it.
Our heroes were done for.
They're about to hit them again when Kamala turns big and smashes the cannon.
Now I know you're just putting on a show.
They open fire on her, but she still manages to be polite to the agents.
Hey guys, you okay?
But Kamaron is still all murdery and fights some agents and then tries to throw a jeep at Devers. Unfortunately, it goes rogue and almost crushes the bystanders, only to be grabbed at the last second by Kamala's big arm power.
So I guess super strength is not a part of the equation.
Yeah, well maybe I should have tried harder in gym.
Then all of a sudden, Kamaron can't control his powers anymore, and he starts shooting all these light spikes all over the place, so Kamala contains him in a bubble. She tells him that his mom sacrificed herself to save him, and he's like, oh, that's cool, and the spikes go away. Apparently finding out that his mother's dead makes him relax.
I never said that.
She then punches a hole in the ground.
Groundbreaking.
And tells him to get to the harbor, because I'm sure after this, and derailing the train earlier, that getting on a boat's the right move right now.
They want me in a pressurized metal container.
Deaver still wants Kamala, so she orders her men to get her. All the TikTok people form a human shield around her, and she fucks off. And then Damage Control fucks off after Deaver gets her ass reamed by Cleary.
Who, by the way, seems like a pretty cool guy.
At home, Kamala's dad tells her the origin of her name.
Kamal means Marvel.
So now she knows what to call herself instead of Nightlight.
Miss Marvel.
Cool name.
Thank you. Thank you. At least someone appreciates it.
And a week later, Bruno's leaving for Caltech and tells her that after her brother asked if he could have powers too, he discovers that her DNA has a mutation.
So she's like a X-Man, X-Men, X-person?
Looks like, but she barely gives a shit, and they go out for shawarma. The next day, her bangle starts glowing and she gets sucked into her closet.
What the hell was that?
But then, Carol Danvers shows up in her place
Captain Marvel blasted it!
and is freaked the fuck out. Not only from the teleportation, but also because she landed in the room of someone who clearly has an unhealthy obsession with her. I mean, if she didn't have powers, she should be really worried.
It rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
You're not normal.
Anyway, that's all I got for this week. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
You wouldn't kill our dreams, would you?
Everyone needs to get out of here right now!
I have a feeling that you did this for the likes.